New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick of Time show here, giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to talk about a Magic loss because the Knicks lose to the Magic 108 to 117. RJ Barrett gives you some kind of a semblance of a bounce back game and gives you 19 points on the night. Randall gives you 38 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. Jalen Brunson gives you 20 points on ill-efficient shooting. Really didn't really hit a lot of shots. 4 from 15 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3, and Emmanuel quickly came in with a short burst and gave you 12 points. But the Knicks ultimately lose to the Magic. Rebounding, offensive rebounding was a big deal. We miss you, Mitchell Robinson. We got out rebounded. We had 6 offensive rebounds to 14 offensive rebounds by these Magic. So that was a big deal. We didn't have Hartenstein, who was in foul trouble, and we could not overcome the stalled offense in the second quarter. The second quarter, the Knicks only scored 15 points. They went about 5 minutes in that second quarter without scoring. And it really bogged us down. And we really was not able to recover from that second quarter. So I'm going to talk about it. It's the Dolo show tonight. No Ryan G, no Ebony, no Lee. It's just me. So shout out to everybody who's rocking with me on this night. You here after a loss. If you here after a loss talking Knicks, you are a hell of a Knicks fan. So salute to you guys. It sucks to lose in MSG South, but it is what it is. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Twan Don. Shout out to Glamour Knicks. Shout out to Alexander. Shout out to Picks for Timmy. And shout out to everybody who's rocking with the KOT show tonight. And let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. I see you did Gamer Channel. Shout out to you. And yo, it's been a weird energy tonight in general. Even my computer's not working, so I can't even put the Discord link for you to hop in and talk. So it's gonna be completely solo dolo. So no Discord tonight even. So it's a weird night, but it is, man. We're gonna make do with what we got. All right. Me personally, I wanted this win for a few reasons. One, this Magic team is that quintessential team that the Knicks tend to struggle with. The team that has length at a lot of positions and could, really make it tough for Brunson and a lot of Knicks on his team. We struggle against those type of teams historically. But we did well versus the Toronto Raptors, and they're that type of team. So I was happy about that. But we struggle against the Timberwolves, who are kind of built similarly, where they have a bunch of long players everywhere around the court. So this was a litmus test for me to see where the Knicks were and how they handled teams built like this. Also, Kenny Smith, that Kenny Smith comment from a while ago where he said Pablo Banchero is better than anybody on this team. I had that in the back of my mind, and that's why I really wanted to win this game today. And we lost the game, even though I can say with certainty that Pablo was not the best player of the team on the team today, or of the game today. The best player of the game today was undoubtedly Julius Randle, with 38 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. And if we did not have Julius Randle today, I'm not sure how long we would have been in this game, because he was a force to be reckoned with. He's really mastered being a guy who can combine strength with finesse and really mixed up his power game with a lot of tough floaters. So kudos to Julius Randle. But what really, really hurt us is what I really want to focus on. It's that second quarter, right? The second quarter, one, the lack of three-point shooting. 2, the lack of offensive rebounds. 3, and the overabundance of foul calls. 4. To me, those are the four keys, the four things that the Knicks done wrong and why we could not beat the Orlando Magic. And I must first start off with the second quarter, where the second quarter typically is the quarter where the bench unit takes over. And you have Emmanuel Quickly, and you have RJ Barrett, and you have Grimes, and you have a little bit of Taj Gibson and Hartenstein mixed in. And that is the quarter where everything went awry. We scored once in that quarter. We were stuck on 33 points for about 5 minutes. And we could not get it together. We could not get it together. And RJ Barrett has been having a tough season so far. And granted, today he played a little bit better when the game was on the line, for sure. When it came to the third and fourth quarters, he played a little bit better. He started to get going. But that third quarter, we only scored 15 points, and RJ and IQ usually lead the charge offensively for that third quarter. And that's what things struggled. I will say that for RJ, I did see him actually passing the ball more. I seen him actually pass the ball on a break for the first time, maybe this season, you know? So that was something that I was like, finally, he actually passed the ball to Brunson on the fast break. Brunson ended up passing it back to him, and he shot a layup. And I'm just like, see, RJ, if you pass the ball sometimes, you can get the ball back. Like, let's keep that thing going. But that second quarter stretch is why people are considering bringing DeJounte Murray in here in place of him. Because if you really think about it, like DeJounte next to Brunson and Randall is probably not the best fit offensively because he doesn't really play off the ball well. He doesn't really shoot the catch and shoot threes well. And he's probably better defending the one. But when it comes to running the second unit and those minutes when Randall and Brunson are off the bench, he will definitely help stabilize the offense a lot more than what's been happening lately. Like that offense with RJ and IQ, sometimes it's kind of hit or miss. If when IQ is hitting, it's beautiful. When IQ is hitting his jump shots, it's beautiful. But when he's not, and you have to depend on RJ to get to the rim, and he's sometimes he had finishing, that's when things get a little bit murky, and that's where you might see a DeJounte Murray kind of shine when he's kind of running the show by himself. So, but needless to say, we tried to come back from that second quarter, but we really didn't. And to be honest with you, I'm not super pissed that we lost this game because I feel like this game was like a little bit of an anomaly. You know, you're not going to get Brunson going 4 for 15 every day. Granted, he stank today. 4 for 15 from the field, 26% from the field goal. He stank today. Hit his free throws 12 for 12. Granted, he got fouled a lot. It was egregious the amount of times he hit the floor and did not get a whistle. But you know, even so, you know, he still didn't really carry the usual weight that he carries, which is why I don't really take this loss to heart, really, especially when you're looking at Dante DiVincenzo, who's been a three-point sniper for us all year. He's been one of our best three-point shooters. I think he's been shooting 60% from the corner three. Shot 1 for 7 from three today in about 19 minutes, 51 seconds for the game. And that's just not going to happen most nights. I felt like we were still in this game and we had a chance to beat this team. And that third quarter push happened. We never really quite got over the hump. It was still kind of murky. But I actually want to point something out in that third quarter that Tibbs might want to take a look at. And we should consider moving forward. And shout out to Ryan G, who mentioned this earlier. Hartenstein got into foul trouble. Taj also got into foul trouble. And then Julius Randle ended up playing the 5. RJ ended up playing the 4. And we started to really start to chip away at the lead. And it started to look like that was the formula. All of a sudden, Jalen Brunson, you guys remember how Jalen Brunson operated when they had the stretch 5 in Dallas. Now he has people on the island. Once he blows by his man, that center isn't over there to help and rotate. They kind of have to rotate from behind, and it puts the defense at a disadvantage. And we was kind of able to chip away at the lead. We're playing Julius Randle at the 5. And today, Julius Randle defensively was up for the task. Like, he was fired up. So if you're getting to gauge Julius Randle on defense playing at the 5, and certain matchups, RJ's not going to be able to play the 4. It's just not going to happen, right? But I don't know. Even if we have all centers accountable, I know people have been arguing about the OB versus Randle 4-5 combination for a long time. This last quarter is a good case study to really, talk about putting Randle at the 5 more, because that almost brought us back in the game. Almost brought us back in the game. All right, so we definitely have to look at that. But yeah, so like it was a close game. It was a close game, but we really missed out on that. But also, I want to point out the lack of size and a lack of offensive rebound, because that third quarter we really started to bog down. And we played some really spirited defense, the first and second units, because that third quarter into the fourth quarter is when you start to actually see RJ and Brunson start to turn the corner a little bit offensively and even defensively. And the thing was, we played good defense, but we was not able to get that rebound. And a lot of times they were able to score off of the offensive rebound. And that's something we used to do. That was our thing. But with Mitch there, we really suffered in that regard. We could not secure the rebound and finish off defensive stances. And not only that, they got to the hole a lot. And people aren't going to a whole lot with Mitch in the middle, man. They think twice. They think twice before going in there. And we're missing the big fella. So I'm not sure if we're able to get him back, but we sorely missed him tonight. But that's how the Knicks, that's why we lost. That's partly why we lost. But how he got back in the game is RJ Barrett and Brandon Brunson and Julius Randle at the 5. For some reason, here's the thing with these long teams, a lot of times they like to switch a lot. For some reason, they kept putting little tiny Cole Anthony on RJ Barrett. And that's when RJ Barrett really started to eat. You know what I mean? That's when RJ Barrett really started to eat. And that's when he really started to go to the hole and get those buckets. And actually, get to the post. So it was interesting to see him eat off of that and get some confidence up. I'm rooting for RJ, man. I'm absolutely rooting for RJ. But I need him to step it up, and it was good to see him get some consecutive buckets in that third quarter. But overall, RJ Barrett still 41% from the field and 20% from 3. He still needs to do better. And he needs to string 10, 15, 20 games together of high efficiency, high percentages, high basketball IQ, good ball movement. That's the type of RJ we need. So we definitely need more of that. And Jalen Brunson, his turnovers to me are starting to pick up as well. Granted, these two teams, the OKC Thunder and the Orlando Magic, are high producing turnover teams. So it is to be expected. But in general, the Knicks don't turn the ball over. But we still have to kind of get used to this. We have one, like when they trap Jalen Brunson, we have to give him passing angles. 2, sometimes when it gets too deep in the paint, people have to make themselves available and give themselves an angle 2 pass as well. And he I don't know, man. I still feel like he hasn't gotten used to. I feel like teams are starting to scout that more of how to play him and how to force a turnover it's kind of affecting his game a little bit. It's kind of affecting his game a little bit. Three turnovers on the night for Jalen Brunson. 5 turnovers for Julius Randle. Probably the only thing that I can hold against Julius Randle today was the 5 turnovers. But to me, and the 3-point shooting, man. The 3-point shooting, we're the 11th best 3-point shooting team in the league. RJ Barrett, though, 20%. You know, Jalen Brunson's been shooting 45% from 3. He hasn't really been hitting. And then you had Dante DiVincenzo, who didn't really do anything as well. And this is why I thought we was going to get back into the game, because the Magic aren't really a good 3-point shooting team. So I really thought we was going to get back into the game at the end with our 3-point shooting. And we brought it close. We got it close. And it's a lot of thanks to Emmanuel Quickly, who kind of gave us a little bit of boost and hit a couple of threes. But you have to give the Magic credit because they really clamped him down in the fourth quarter. He did not get any open looks. Those same looks that he got in that beginning of the third, when it became crunch time, he did not get those open looks. So, you gotta give it to them. But yeah, it was all she wrote, man. We were this close to winning, man. We were this close to winning. We got close. I don't take this loss to heart because we got so close, because you're not going to get these type of games from Jalen Brunson. And really, the refs, even though I'm mad, listen, the refs, let me look at these numbers real quick. We sent the Orlando Magic to the free throw line 40 times today. Season high, 40 times we sent the Orlando Magic at the free throw line. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen most nights. A lot of those fouls, I feel like, are retaliation fouls. Because we didn't get fouls on one end, we play defense, we get frustrated. Now we're pushing guys to the floor. You know? Now we're giving them extra bumps. Now we're getting a little extra chippy because we're not getting the foul. So I think we did a good job in getting back into the game, but we needed like a little bit more composure to not get those retaliation fouls. But, overall, though, it is what it is. Knicks lose to the Orlando Magic. Emmanuel Quickly actually played the entire fourth quarter today, which is a stark difference from the OKC game. I'm pretty sure that Tom Thibodeau saw the criticism, probably reflected on what happened the game before, and realized how dumb he was for not playing IQ for the entire fourth quarter of the last game, and did it this game. And he could have easily not done it today because that team is a tall team. We was already short. He could have easily not done it, but he chose to do it. It didn't work out for us today. But at least you can't say Tom Thibodeau lost us that game because of the IQ substitution. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It's on to the next one. Next game will be versus the Pacers. Completely different team, completely different style. We will not have the type of defense that we've seen on the last few days with these two teams who are high turnover teams. But we're going to have to be disciplined in our transition defense. And that's something that we struggle with a lot of times with these athletic teams. And this team and the Pacers, they're the best at doing it. They're the number one offense in the league. Defensively, they're tissue paper. Julius Randle is going to feast tomorrow. That just is what it is. Julius Randle will feast tomorrow. We just have to be disciplined defensively to get that win tomorrow. But it's absolutely possible. But it is what it is. But shout out to the chat. Let me get to some of these comments and see what you got to say. Yeah, man, it's time to eat. It's time to eat versus these Pacers. Tough loss, extremely tough loss to the Magic. I'm not super mad, not as pissed as I was versus OKC because of the craziness I saw from RJ and Tibbs. But still a tough loss. It's a 2-game winning streak. I feel like we haven't had our many 2-game losing streaks. We haven't had a lot of losing streaks in general. This might be our second losing streak of the season. We haven't had a 3-game losing streak all season so far, I believe. So tomorrow, I would like to keep that streak going and end our losing skid and beat the Pacers, because this is another team where the media is saying that all this Halliburton is going to be the best player on the floor, and I think it's the opportunity tomorrow to actually prove them wrong. So I really would like to get this win. Now, unfortunately, these schedule makers are not being kind to us. This will be our 7th back-to-back game. We played the second most road games in the NBA. So the schedule makers and Adam Silver definitely giving it to us. Definitely giving it to us. Also, they realize they give us too many road games. So you know what Adam Silver decides to do? That he decides to give us an extra home game against the Detroit Pistons.
Bruh.
Which to me is fugazi. Like, we are playing the Celtics 5 times. We're playing the Bucks 5 times. The least Adam Silver can do is give us a home game from one of the Bucks or the Celtics. Nobody cares about playing another home game versus the Detroit Pistons. That's a win anyway. That's a win anyway. So I don't understand what's going on there, but it is what it is. The NBA is fugazi and funny in the light. Listen, shout out to NBIC, Glamour Knicks, Brooklyn Butch, Roberto Rivera Jr., Corey Lee, picks for Timmy, and everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. Alexander says, "Don't jinx his king." I hear you. picks for Timmy said, "Refs are trash." I hear you. Roberto says RJ needs Excella ticket out of here. When it comes to RJ, man, like I said, I'm on the fence. But listen, man, I'm closer in my mind to moving RJ than I ever been in my time on KOT. Like, if you give me a solid wing player for RJ at this point, I'm not even gonna hold you. I do it. I do it. And it's sad to say I'm here and I got to this point. But that's the point I'm at right now. He's been shooting 20% from 3 and under 40% from the field since his migraine. And it's gotten to the point where all of the analytics point to all of our best lineups being with RJ on the bench. Like, that's what all the analytics are saying. So it's crazy. I don't know, man. Like, all our best 5-man team, I think I saw, was Brunson, Quickly. I think it might have been like Josh Hart, Randall, and Hartenstein might be our best unit. You know what I mean? Shoot, hold on. Let me look at that. I'm gonna look at that right now. I'm gonna actually look at this right now. So we have Brunson, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Randall, Mitchell Robinson. That's a plus 12. But then look at this. We got Brunson, Quickly, Josh Hart, Randall, and iHart as our best 5-man unit at plus 33. That's been our best unit, and that's been 185 possessions so far. Second best unit has been Brunson, Quickly, Josh Hart, Randall, and Mitchell Robinson. So both of our best units have Josh Hart and Emmanuel Quickly in it. Our 1 and 2 best units. Which says a lot, man. That says a lot. It's not even Dante in that unit. It's not RJ in that unit. It's Brunson, IQ, Josh Hart. And for all the flat that Josh Hart is getting or has gotten this year, even though he's not scoring a lot of points, he's been solidly really good. And you already can see the chemistry that IQ and Jalen Brunson have. He's mastered the art of playing off the attention of Brunson and Randall. He's probably our best. Well, he's a great spot up shooter for one, but also he attacks the closeouts better than anybody on the team, where he gives you that head fake and floater, and that floater is going in almost 100% of the time when he takes it. So something to take a look at. Definitely something to take a look at. But yeah, even the IQ Grimes, Josh Hart, RJ Barrett, that's a plus 17. Interesting. That's a plus 17. That unit. Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, Josh Hart, RJ Barrett at the power forward. Interesting to look at. All right. Salute to you, Just Knicks. But quick show. I didn't have the crew today, so I had to do it all. Today. If Ebony was here, she'd probably say something about teamwork because that's her spiel. But today's teamwork, today is where I feel like the teamwork spiel could be deceiving, because you'll look at the assist numbers and go, wow, the Knicks only had 22 assists today. But then if you actually watch the game, you realize how many open shots did we miss? We missed a lot of open shots. And when you take that into account, then you realize that those 22 assists doesn't mean we wasn't passing the ball today. That just means we were missing shots. But yeah, salute to the chat. I really want to have this conversation about RJ Barrett with the rest of the crew today, and the Jonathan Merritt with the rest of the crew today. But hopefully we'll have the whole crew tomorrow. The game is a little bit earlier, so people are most likely to be awake. All right. But salute to the chat. Brooklyn Bush says we need a center ASAP. Absolutely. I actually kind of like the Magic center, man. The Magic center is pretty good, and he's only been getting like 20 minutes a game. He plays a little bit dirty. I didn't like the fouls he was doing, but he's a long guy. He's mobile. He rear contests. I kind of like his game. And the Magic did a really good job of drafting a lot of long players who can disrupt you defensively. And those are the type of players we need. So I would like somebody like that. I've always said that I was interested in Isaac, even though his political views are a little bit weird. He's always often injured, so I figured that's kind of like a project that I would take a flyer on, give a second round pick, and see what happens type of deal. Because we just need that type of versatile wing defender who can defend 1 through 5 in this lineup. And if we can get one cheap and hope that he's healed, and hope he can heal up later in his career, then I would definitely do that. Press says we also need to start. I can't read what that says. I'm sorry. You know, YouTube, they have these new emojis and they put it in the way of the chat so you can't read everything weird. We also need to sign and trade for players above 6'5". Now, absolutely. We don't have a lot of, we definitely need to sign and trade players. Like, Knicks are hard capped right now. We don't want to approach that second apron. So I know a lot of people are talking about OG Anunoby and outright signing him in free agency, but that's probably not our most likely avenue to acquiring a player here, because we are hard capped. So most likely any person we get will most likely be a sign and trade. So for us, Toronto will have to come to their senses and go, hey, I don't want to lose him for nothing. Let me sign him, give him to the Knicks, and we'll take back whatever assets we can get to litigate the losses. right now, the 76ers, after that Harden trade, the 76ers actually are really scary in free agency because they can trade people, but they can also outright sign people. They can also outright sign people into their cap space right now. So they don't even have to trade people. And it's scary because, you know, they traded Harden, which you thought might be an L for them. Maxey turns out to be all-star caliber guy, which gives him 2 stars and cap space to sign somebody else. So the 76ers are absolutely a threat for guys like OG Anunoby. Shoot, even and guys who can actually hit free agency, because realistically, teams and players don't really even hit free agency anymore because they know they can get more money with the team that drafted them. But Toronto, they're just weird. But the 76ers, they're in a unique spot where I feel like they have an advantage to sign somebody like OG Anunoby, despite, you know, separate from the Knicks and Toronto Raptors having this weird beef, you know, where they might not even like each other because the Knicks are suing the Raptors for stealing their secrets. So that's just something to look out for. But also, you know what? Speaking of news and beefs, in other news, I saw some news going around from Stephen Bondi that's talking about the Knicks and Clutch clients. We all know that for a while, the Knicks and Clutch, they really haven't seen eye to eye. I think it's because maybe Clutch has some relations with CAA. But we've seen before that Zach LaVine did not want to sign with the Knicks, and it's kind of been reported that the Clutch does not want to work with the Knicks too. And because of whatever beef or misunderstandings that stem from how they worked together in the past. And supposedly there's supposed to be a meeting taking place between the Knicks and Clutch to clear up whatever misunderstandings is happening between those two guys, which might lead for a path to trade Clutch clients to the Knicks in the future. So I'm not sure where that beef came from. It could be coming from something before. It could also be the Cam Reddish stuff happened. I know that didn't help anything. Cam Reddish was here, traded to the Knicks. Our roster was kind of filled. Taves didn't really like him. The Knicks were decimated with injuries, and he still could not get any type of playing time. So that might have not looked well for us as well. But it looks like that relationship might be on its way to being mended, which might open up more trade opportunities. Now, according to the article, if teams wanted to come to the Knicks or players wanted to come to the Knicks, they would not stop a player from coming here if they really want to come here, but they really prefer not to work with the Knicks, which sucks. So, I mean, what probably might be happening is, you know, they might try to steer them somewhere else. They might talk bad about us behind the scenes. So even though they might not stop them, the player might have to really advocate to be here for that to happen. Because even if you remember, when DeJounte Murray was a free agent with the San Antonio Spurs, he didn't even look the Knicks way. It wasn't even a thought. It was just like, let's go to the Hawks. And you start to just wonder why that was, and maybe that beef between Clutch and the Knicks had something to do with it. So, I mean, whether you're on the side of bringing DeJounte here or not, first I was really all for it, but now I'm a little bit on the fence. Like, I really feel like he would do really well running the second unit, but I'm not sure how well he fits with the first unit. But I do like his personality, though. I do like, he does have that dog. I feel like Tibbs would like him. I really do. And I do feel like him defensively. I feel like Tibbs could really activate him defensively, but I'm still not sure how that fit with him Jalen and Randall would be offensively. It might be a little bit weird. But yeah, I just wonder if that had anything to do with him not coming to the Knicks or not even considering the Knicks in the first place and just going straight to the Hawks. I mean, that's just something to look at. But it's for this free agency though. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm, the Knicks are going to have to make a move in the summer because Jalen Brunson will be. We're going to have to pay that man. He's averaging about 27 points a game on 5 assists and 45% from three. So he's going to need his money, and the time is running out. We're not going to be able to. We're not going to be able to bring big name free agents here once we have to pay Jalen Brunson. Also, all the picks that we have that we keep kicking down the can. I think we have 6 picks or something next season. We're not going to be able to keep kicking it down the can. So this summer, all the snoring and sleeping Leon Rose jokes, all that is going to have to stop in the summer. And I'm not sure if a big trade is coming by the trade deadline. Most times it does not happen in the trade deadline. We'll be doing very small moves during January and February, but a big move would have to come this summer for sure if we're going to make one. All right, but salute to the chat. Short live here. I'm gonna just end it here. Had to do a solo dolo game today. It is what it is. Wiz BKLA says Fax DSJ. Yo, Fax DSJ. Oh, you talking Delano Steele Jr. I thought you were talking about bringing DSJ back. My head was like, what? Which is funny because I actually like DSJ's game now. Like I did not like his game when he was with the Knicks before, but I actually like his name DSJ's game now. But what's good, Delano? Delano says Tom Thibodeau does not like any player that's above 6'6" and athletic. So until he's gone, expect more of the same. Yo, you funny. I don't think that's true, honestly. Like, I think it just has to be the right 6'6" player. That's all I think. As talented as Cam was, Tibbs is a stickler for rotations. And Cam tried his darndest when he was here, but he really wasn't the best at being in the right places a lot of times. And I feel like he did not like the way Tibbs rode him when he was in the right spot, in the wrong spots. I feel like that's what it was. And then he wanted him to be a 3-and-D guy. And Cam didn't want to do that. And funny enough, he's in LA now, and they're making him a 3D guy. Like they're not all the crazy stuff he was doing in the mid range and trying to shoot off the dribble. It was looking bad when he was in the Knicks uniform trying to do that. And I said it on this program, like he needs to cut that out. Like his strength is shooting threes and taking it to the hole. As long as you do that, you should be good. And that's exactly what he's doing with the Lakers. I mean, he could have did that here if he just, that's just me. But then again, Tibbs, he did kind of do Cam dirty. I'm not even gonna lie. He did him dirty. It is what it is, though. President Boss says that that's a rumor around. Leon sat down with Rich Paul at an Thai restaurant and showed him a horse head. What? That's a crazy rumor. I ain't hear that one. Doesn't Toronto actually need a point guard and Fournier with a few picks for OG and throw it in? IQ and Fournier for OG. That might be the move. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't like to see IQ go though. I don't like to see IQ go. I still feel like there would be a big hole offensively off the bench if we did that. Like we would fill one hole defensively for us, but off the bench that would take a big hit. It would take a huge hit because it's funny because our IQ has brought us back into a lot of games. So if we did do a move like that, you gotta hope to God that there is a subsequent move to follow that to kind of fill in that bench role, because that bench unit has been kind of wobbly recently, ever since they put Hartenstein in the starting lineup and then kind of mixed and match things. That bench unit has been a little bit weird. So now you take IQ out of that bench unit and it gets weirder. Then you're really going, you know what, Grimes, go to town, and you get all the shots now. You got all the juice now. You're really leaning on that, and you pretty much just be hoping for the best at this point. All right, yo. But that's the show. Thank you guys for watching, man. I appreciate you guys watching the show with me on the loss to the Orlando Magic tomorrow. Next game up is the Indiana Pacers. So shout out to Picks for Timmy. Shout out to Corey Lee, Brooklyn Butch, Glamour Knicks, Alexander, Fritz, the best mind in the game, and everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. Super chats are also welcome. Helps keep the lights on, keeps things moving. So appreciate that type of support. And if you enjoyed the show and this Knicks talk, hit that like and subscribe button. Should be back with some more KOT crew members tomorrow. So definitely check it out. Tomorrow, Knicks versus Pacers. Lord, let us, basketball gods, please let us beat the Pacers tomorrow, because I do not want to be on Twitter if the Knicks lose to the Pacers. I do not, because all hell will break loose. I need this win. The Knicks have not lost 3 games in a row so far this season. I would like to keep that trend going. And get Ebony a KOT visor. Yo, that KOT visor is in the works, Prezi. That KOT visor is in the works, Prezi. All right. But that's the show. Thank you guys for watching. You can follow us on multiple platforms at the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram, and the Knick of Time Show on Facebook as well. All right. But that is the show. I'm out of here. And as always,
shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks YouTube streets. That is the show. I'm out of here. Peace.